Welcome to the Nevis Newscast for today, Wednesday, April 4th, 2018. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. Today, Honorable Mark Brantley, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Aviation in St. Kitts and Nevis, welcomed a two-member delegation from Ecuador led by His Excellency Ambassador Carlos Jatfia, permanent representative of Ecuador to the International Organization of Vienna to St. Kitts and Nevis when they met at his Pinnis Estate office. We'll have more in this report.
Thanks, Bronte. Minister Brantley expressed hope that their discussions would be fruitful as they sought to deepen their relations between St. Kitts and Nevis and Ecuador.
And I certainly look forward to these discussions. As you say, Ecuador and St. Kitts and Nevis might be some distance apart, but we share certain common challenges and common issues that we hope we'll be able to discuss today. Our objective is really to deepen the relationship with Ecuador, as indeed we are intending to deepen the relationship with all of Latin America. So for us, this is very important, and I welcome you again to our country and trust and hope that we have meaningful discussions, and following on from today, we can look forward to a much more meaningful relationship between our two countries.
The ambassador, who was accompanied by Sub-Secretary of Multilateral Affairs, Minister Luis Espinosa, thanked Minister Brantley for receiving the delegation and described the visit as an important one. He spoke of the relationship between Ecuador, the Federation, and the rest of the Caribbean and the Andean nations, Colombia, Venezuela, Peru, Bolivia, and Chile.
We've had over the years several initiatives together with the Caribbean nations, together with our own Andean nations, because that's our neighborhood in Ecuador. I think we've worked together both at the OAS and at the UN Assembly, at the United Nations headquarters and other headquarters of the UN. And I think that beyond the fact that we are physically a bit separated, I think we share certain values and certain interests in the international arena, and I think that's what made us closer, made us come together closer.
The ambassador added that in 2017, Ecuador presided over the G77, which gave them an opportunity to reinforce their relations with the developing world, particularly with the Andean and Caribbean nations. At the end of the meeting, the delegation, which was accompanied by Foreign Service Officer in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Aviation, Sonia Boddy Thompson, were taken on an island tour of Nevis before returning to St. Kitts. The delegation arrived in St. Kitts on April 3rd and are scheduled to depart on April 5th, 2018. I'm Freddie Silab reporting for the Nevis Newscast.
Thanks, Fredicia. The Nevis Island Administration, through the Ministry of Agriculture, is partnering with Nevis Speak to conduct a spay and neuter program for dogs on the island. Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Hughie Sargent, says his ministry realized that there are quite a number of stray dogs, particularly in Chastown, as well as other parts of the island, and they've also received reports of animal attacks on livestock.
The ministry is very concerned about this current state of affairs as it relates to stray dogs. So that's why we've decided to partner with Nevis Speak, who actually sent us a proposal because they too realized the problem. And of course, they're an animal welfare organization. So they're doing this in the most humane way possible that would help to arrest the problem as it can mushroom. We have a significant problem with the monkeys right now, and based on how things are going with dogs, we could have a similar problem. So this is our way of making this first step to arrest the situation.
The Permanent Secretary then pledged the support of the Ministry of Agriculture to the program and encouraged persons to take advantage of the opportunity. According to the Director of Nevis Animal Speak, Janice Jensen, the problem escalated during last year's hurricane season in September, where persons were trying to save their dogs as humanely as possible and ended up untying them to assist in their chance of survival.
What we're trying to do in this is have a one big hit, helping with the community to not only bring in their own dogs that roam. It's not just the strays, it's people's dogs that are not contained So we want to help them as well because their dogs are making more dogs. So we're reaching out to the community, but also anybody who has dogs that they see in Charlestown, we are encouraging them, if they are friendly, please bring them to us.
Jensen went into the detail about the benefits of the program.
The Mass Spay Neuter program is going to be held April 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. We will be taking sign-ups, frankly, through those dates for people that want to get their dogs spayed and neutered. The benefits of spaying and neutering goes much beyond what our permanent secretary has already said. Yes, we have dogs, but if you have one unspayed female and one unneutered male and all of their puppies making puppies going unchecked, in 6 years, you have over 67,000 dogs.
Interested persons can register by calling 869-667-6667 or 869-764-7666 or email them at nevisfix@gmail.com. The program will take place at the parking lot of Nevis Animal Speak at Catesby, Nevis. Government's reform of the justice system in St. Kitts and Nevis continued on Thursday, March 29th, with the successful passage of the Magistrates' Code of Procedure Amendment Bill 2018 in the National Assembly. The bill was piloted through the federal parliament by Attorney General and Minister of Justice Honorable Vincent Byron, and when gazetted, it will become law, thereby abolishing the preliminary inquiry (PI) procedure from the court system. The PI requires a magistrate to consider evidence and testimony from the accused and the victim before deciding if a matter should be heard in the High Court. The process, unfortunately, can be a lengthy one, sometimes taking months and even more than a year before a recommendation can be given. The PI system will be replaced with a series of pre-trial proceedings intended to simplify and shorten criminal proceedings. The Attorney General said this will help to spare victims of crime the trauma of having to relive the details of the incident through testimony before the actual trial. It also eliminates the need for the perpetrator to give evidence multiple times. He reported that the new amendments were welcomed by members of the security forces and persons in the community. The commissioning of a second High Court in Bastille 1 year ago has also positively impacted the execution of justice in St. Kitts and Nevis. It also was a part of the justice reform agenda. Still to come, Premier Brantley is pleased with the NIA's achievements in first 100 days in office. The details after this break.
I cannot miss this festival this year. I gotta be there. Gotta be there. Gotta be there.
At a loss as to what's going on in Nevis? Tune into NNC on NTV. Don't worry if you don't have cable either. NNC will bring the news to you wherever you are. Facebook and Facebook Live. YouTube and YouTube Live. NevisTVOnline.com. Roku app, NTV mobile app, Smart TV, Apple TV, and any other IPTV platforms. When me ANC and you ANC, NNC.
Welcome back. Members of the general public are invited to nominate a young person to be considered for this year's 25 Most Remarkable Teens in St. Kitts and Nevis Award. Nominees must be no younger than 13 years or older than 19 years by the end of 2018, the nomination year. They must have demonstrated capacity in the nominated category and have a record of remarkable character, contributions to society, and/or accomplishments. Nomination forms forms are available from all high schools and the respective offices of the departments responsible for youth in St. Kitts and Nevis. Submissions must be returned on or before May 25th, 2018. For more information, telephone 662-6054 on St. Kitts and 469-5521 extension 2072 or 2343 on Nevis. Premier of Nevis, the Honourable Mark Brantley, says he is pleased with the achievements of the Nevis Island administration since he took up office a little over 100 days ago. Premier Brantley was at the time responding to an invited comment from the Department of Information on Thursday, 29th March, immediately following the second in a series of monthly press conferences.
In 100 days, we have inaugurated the Premier's press conference. I've just concluded the second in a series and a commitment that we made to have that on a monthly basis. In 100 days, we have already commenced the process of operationalizing the Integrity in Public Life legislation. We've written to the Honourable Joseph Parry inviting him to nominate his member to the Integrity Commission. I will nominate a member, and then of course the chair will be a matter for the Deputy Governor General, her own deliberate judgment. So I think that we have made some strides. We have seen good response in terms of the hotel industry, in terms of the hotels being full at this point. We have had excellent response in terms of geothermal and the continuing process there. We're very optimistic about that. The agricultural fair, of course, for 2 years, and that's an ongoing effort, and it continues to grow from strength to strength, and that has done very well.
Minister Brantley says he promises to keep the commitment to the people of Nevis moving forward.
Personally, I feel really good. I think it's a good opportunity. We have brought a new vigor and vitality to government. It's a younger team. It's a new look team with new members who bring their own perspectives, which I think has really enriched and informed what we do in terms of our discussion. So we have a blend of some who were there before, some who are now coming. As I like to say, we are old enough to know and still young enough to do, and we have been trying our best to do. So I feel very good. I feel very optimistic. I believe that the level of rancor that we saw before has abated considerably.
The Nevis Island administration was recently sworn in late December of 2017. That brings us to the end of this edition of the Nevis Newscast. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. Thank you for viewing.
As a fisherman, I use the marine resource wisely so I can conserve our biodiversity, so I can fish for life. It's all about balance.
I preserve biodiversity by the way that I farm. It takes care of my family. It's all about balance.
I have enjoyed these seas all my life. I do my best to conserve our biodiversity because I want my children and my grandchildren to enjoy them as much as I do. It's all about balance.
I'm a park ranger, and my job is to properly manage our protected areas and conserve our biodiversity. It's all about balance.
Youth, let's play a part in conserving our biodiversity and maintaining our natural resources. It's all about balance.
For life, for livelihood, for the future of St. Kitts and Nevis, let's all conserve our biodiversity and use our natural resources wisely. It's all about balance.